Hi, I'm Mike from 1A Auto. We've been selling auto parts for over 30 years. We're dedicated to delivering quality auto parts, expert customer service, fast and free shipping, all backed by our 100% satisfaction guarantee. So visit us at 1AAuto.com, your trusted source for quality auto parts.
In the back of the GMC Terrain, you'll find a false floor, which you can lift up. And right in here, you'll find your spare tire and all of the equipment needed to change it. So right here is your jack. So what we can do is we'll start spinning this to remove the jack from the car. These bolts are always way longer than you think they should be. All right, there we go. Now you can pop the jack out. Up here, you have your lug wrench. Looks like it's held in with Velcro. So we'll pop that out. And then over on this side, also held in with a Velcro strap, is another part of the lug wrench which allows you to lift up the jack. So then, of course, you have your spare tire right here, which again, you'll just unscrew. We'll set that aside, and we can pull that right out of the truck. Before you're taking off your wheel, you always want to use your parking brake, just like that, because you don't want your vehicle to roll away when you're trying to take the wheel off. Right here, you got your lug nut wrench. It seems fairly short, and that is why they have it extend out like this. That gives you a lot more leverage to break these loose. Before you actually jack up your vehicle, you always want to crack the lug nuts loose, because once it's up in the air, your tire is going to want to spin when you try and loosen these. So here's what you're going to do. You'll come over here and lift up, just like that. All you have to do is get it loose. You don't want to take it off at this point, because then your wheel will fall off. So you'll go around to each one and just loosen it up a little bit. So right under the rocker panel in front of the rear tire, you'll notice there's a spot right here that has like doubled up pinch weld, is what this is called. And you can put the jack right in here in the rear. Up towards the front, you'll find the same thing. Right in here is where you want to put the jack. So the jack comes fully compressed, and what you want to do is take this hook and slip it through this hole and then start spinning it. And you'll see, as you start spinning this, the jack will start lifting up. When you start getting close to the height you think you'll need, you can start sliding it under here and lining it up with where you want it to live. All right. So now that it's under the car in the right position, you want to take your hooked arm here and you can then take this and hook it right onto there. Looks like it might be easier if we fold this in. So as soon as you can see air underneath your tire, you know that the tire is off the ground. So you can go back to your lug nut wrench and make sure all of these are nice and loose. Looks like we can spin these off by hand. If you can't spin them off by hand, you can easily just spin them with the lug wrench until they're off. But we'll just do this by hand because it's nice and easy. All right, set those aside. And at this point, you should be able to get the wheel off of the hub. Of course, this one's stuck on. Yours might be as well. In which case, you need to be very careful with this, because your jack is not the most stable jack in the world, because it's the one that comes with the vehicle. And the wheel is actually stuck on the hub. So what you can do is, as safely as possible, try and whack the wheels with a spare tire usually, and that will usually break it loose. So we'll pick up the spare tire, we can go like this. And that has broken it loose from the hub, and you'll notice that the car didn't fall off the jack. You obviously want to be really careful when you're doing that sort of stuff, and never ever get under the vehicle if you're using one of these jacks, because they aren't the most stable things in the world. So with the factory wheel off, you can now slide the new wheel on, or the spare tire I should say, and start putting the lug nuts back on by hand. All right, with all 5 back in place, you want to snug them up with your lug nut wrench. And you want to go in a star pattern, so you'd go across every time. And that way the wheel gets torqued on evenly. With all 5 lug nuts put on snugly, we can start lowering the vehicle. With the wheel snugged on, we can now start lowering the jack. You'll put your hook back on here, and then you'll want to go in the reverse rotation that you were doing before to lower it back down to the ground. It's a whole lot easier going down with a jack than it was going up. Now you can pull it out and then spin this until it's right back down to its flat position. With the car back on the ground, you can go back with your lug nut wrench and tighten it up in a cross pattern. This spare tire is not meant to be driven the same way normal tires are driven. As you can see, it's a whole lot narrower, so there's not as much traction. So that means when you go around corners, if you go around corners too fast, it is going to screech and you may actually lose traction. So you always want to drive a little bit slower with the spare tire on. Don't go around corners as quickly. Just take it nice and slow and steady until you get your real tire repaired. All right, to put all this stuff back in, you got your hook, which goes right here. And it just Velcros into place. You got your lug nut wrench, which goes on the passenger side, also Velcroed into place. Then we have the actual jack, which sits just like that. And then it has this bolt that goes in. The full-size spare tire, or the full-size tire, the one that you took off the car, doesn't fit in this spot. So we're just gonna tuck this into its hole where it belongs, and we'll set the floor back in place. And then we can put our popped tire right here.
Thanks for watching. Visit us at oneauto.com for quality auto parts, fast and free shipping, and the best customer service in the industry.